When the job was offered to me, it was a pretty amazing moment because it's a place that I knew I always wanted to get to, even though when I first started coaching, I had no business getting to this kind of place. But I think it was important that quickly I understood the history of Stanford swimming and diving, and not just the success in the pool, but Stanford swimming and diving has been ingrained in this community for a long time, and I had to make sure I understood that. Wanted to make sure that surrounded myself with great people, and for me initially that meant staff, and identifying someone that could come in and not just make an impact in what we're doing in the water every day, because not that that's the easy part, but it's an easier part, but more of making an impact just in the lives of our women every day. Tracy was someone that just, I knew that if I ever had the opportunity to hire her, that I wanted to do that.
At the moment when all this came together, it was more about Greg than it was about Stanford. When the Stanford thing popped up and he called, it was kind of the perfect storm. And once he got me here and got to see everything that Stanford has to offer, it was a no-brainer for me and my family.
The timing was perfect. You know, there's all this like trust the process nowadays, and I think that was really true with us. We had to make sure that we really fundamentally and foundationally set things in place that were going to give us an opportunity to have sustainable success. Just all of those little things, putting them in place in year one was super important, because then we could build off of that.
And doing things the right way was really important. Making sure we're getting the right people in the recruiting process, people that connect with what we're doing here and the team as it grows and evolves was really important.
Why Stanford? What made you pick here?
Well, Stanford was my dream school ever since I was about 10 years old. So I always knew that if I was in the right position, like Stanford would be my top choice. It's just the perfect combination of academics and athletics, and talking to Greg and Tracy throughout the recruiting process just made me more sure of my decision.
I think when you come to Stanford, you can expect to be surrounded by so much excellence and so many people who will push you to be a better you, and also who will support you to be a better you. And you're around a culture of people striving to be great, and it kind of holds you to a higher standard so that you can be as great as all these people around you, and it sets you up for the rest of your life.
I knew that if Stanford was the place that I decided that I wanted to be at school, that there was going to be a really strong group of girls that I already had a sort of relationship with and had already raced against. And I think that they, as one of Greg's, I guess, earlier recruiting classes, kind of set a precedent for how he wanted his team to be, like really strong and really competitive and really consistent.
And having them sort of identify like, okay, this is what Stanford swimming is all about right now, regardless of what it was before and its great history. All that's really important, but it's what are they about right now?
We couldn't swim the way we do without each other, and we have some of the best swimmers in the country in every event, in every stroke, covered across the board. We have a great team culture, all of us, and we just fed off of each other's energy every day in practice, so that when we got to NCAAs, we were able to do the exact same thing, just get going, get rolling from day one, and keep it going.
From the coaches meeting, kind of run through some stuff here.
There's one lane in the diving well open for the final swimmers only. So if you go check into race ready, but it's just sitting around and you want to get into that one lane in the diving well, that's open only to the top 8 swimmers or the top 8 relays.
Movie is from
Dominated and NCAAs. Go Stanford!
I think it's a really good reminder that there are a ton of people out there that are cheering for you guys and pulling for us as a team this weekend. Like the little things can't shake us. Can't get rattled by that little stuff. That's what we built, and that's the gift that we have this week. And now we give back to them in winning, because we started this path 5 years ago, but really this particular group, you started this in September and you haven't looked back since, and there's no time to look back now. Go trust each other, go have fun together, and go inspire yourselves and all of the people that are here and abroad cheering us on. And when you win in your little different moments of winning over the next 3.5 days, point at your team. Give a little fist bump to your parents and to your fans. Let them in, feed off of their energy, because we're gonna feed off of them, for sure. We got it?
Take your mark.
The feeling of finally winning that national championship was, can't find the right word. I don't think you can describe the feeling.
We always talk about just being the best version of ourselves, and I think we've done that for all 6 years. I think every year we've maximized our ability. I just think that says a lot about the idea of sustainable success and just putting ourselves in a position to have success year after year because of the fundamental things that our team believes in and just the world that they operate in.
I think right when we came back to Stanford in the fall to start the season with the new freshmen, and we all kind of knew that our goal was to win NCAAs, and that we knew that we were kind of more of the favorites this year than we had been in the past. We kind of wanted to do it a little differently this year and just really kind of dominate.
While we had fun and enjoyed last year, we kind of blocked that out from our minds and just really focused on, trying to do the best that we could this year and hopefully put ourselves in the best position.
I think the biggest thing was that we didn't want to just do over what we did before, but we wanted to make it more special and wanted to make it more significant. And we don't get caught up kind of in the little things along the way, but we know that there's something really special waiting for us come NCAAs, and I think that really helps keep our perspective throughout the year and then be able to come out really strong at the end.
The Stanford Cardinal has won more NCAA women's swimming and diving championships than any other institution. But last year's 9th title ended a span of 19 years without a championship. They look to make it 2 in a row this weekend.
The
NCAA meet is definitely unlike anything I've ever experienced. It's such a team-driven environment. You have people next to you just screaming, losing their voices on day one. Definitely a lot packed into 3+ days, but definitely a really, really fun and exciting meet.
We knew that we had a special group going into this year and that we were going to really push each other to do some great things, and I think we saw that.
It's the 2018 NCAA Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. We're at the McCorkle Aquatic Pavilion on the Ohio State University campus in Columbus. The Stanford Cardinal, the defending champions, Rowdy, and they're in command.
Go Stanford!
We have done, I think, what we set out to do, which was to make this really meaningful. And I think the last thing that anyone wants in this room is for us to kind of limp to the finish line. And those of you not swimming, you are the hype machine tonight. And those of you who are racing, you got to take care of your business, save your energy, and when it's time to go, you unleash it.
I don't know, every single relay that Greg puts up there is special and definitely something that I look forward to when it comes to NCAAs. And it's always really stressful and really exciting. It's like every single person on the bench wishes they could be in the water, doing something, pushing our teammate along. And I love getting the opportunity to be able to be on those relays, and it's kind of crazy. I'll look back and be like, I swam on a relay with Katie Ledecky and Simone Manuel and Leah Neal and all these people that I look to as role models and as heroes in my own swimming.
The relays are what I remember the most. I was fortunate enough to be a part of the first relay. We had the opportunity to kind of set the tone for the meet, and we all had our best splits ever on that relay and kind of got the team fired up.
It's really, really exciting in the medley relay knowing that, even after me, I have, Kim Williams on breaststroke, Janet on fly, Simone on free. I mean, those are 3 phenomenal swimmers, so it's kind of fun to get to, put up my split and then kind of watch them do their thing. And I mean, Simone is phenomenal. I don't think there's anyone you'd rather have as an anchor leg. We could be a lap behind, and I think our relay would still be like, oh, we have a chance. It's just great having that at the tail end of your relay.
Ella just had probably the best NCAA meet anyone's ever had. Just the American records, the wins, the relays, everything. She had the whole package, and it was just so impressive to see and just see how much hard work she had put in.
Ella had an incredible meet, and really she's had an incredible 3 years, and this has kind of been building.
Here comes Ella Easton, 3:56.53, the time to beat. Yes! 3:54.60. What a race for Ella Easton.
I was excited to watch every race, that 4 IM especially, just being so happy for her and her success in that 4 IM and being able to come back from disappointment, but being able to use that as motivation.
She just destroyed that record.
But it was one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen, and really put together the kind of the perfect swim at the perfect time, but didn't stop there.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed a swim of epic proportions.
Janet's one of the most underrated swimmers probably in the history of our sport. There's people that you can rely on, and then there's Janet.
Every single race is asked to get up there and be in an A final, be on a winning relay, do these amazing things, and she just takes it so well and just goes about her races so in such an impressive manner. She really kept things very level, and I think that brought a calming effect to our team.
Janet is just an unbelievable swimmer in person.
I will never understand how she has that much energy. I think she will use every ounce of energy in her body for this team, and I think that's shown over the past 4 years.
You know, Janet in particular, that was your sixth swim of the day, and to give us your best split ever, and then to come in this morning and make your first ever A final on the 200 back, to go 3-ups for the first time, I think it was a great way to get us started.
Janet Hu means a lot to this program. She always puts up points and is such a key factor on the relays, and is a leader in and outside of the pool, so she's someone that's really special to the team.
We are going to miss her. She has just done so much for us.
Still Janet Hu in the lead spot.
There is the person who has the fastest swim of all time. Ali Howe is in lane number 5. She set that 49.69 at the Pac-12 Championships last year.
I was definitely really nervous for that race. I knew last year, after having a decent swim at Pac-12s, that I definitely believed in myself and believed that I could win in that event individually, and was definitely a little frustrating at NCAA's going slower and not being able to get first and get those points for my team. But it definitely motivated me this year to do the best that I could, and even though I can't control what others do, heading into NCAA's, I just want to put myself in the best position that I could to hopefully bring home the individual title for the team.
Not to call my own shot there, but right as they were jumping in the water for that 100 back, I turned to Tracy and Joey, and I said, I think Allie's going to win this. Because it was just, we were on such a roll, and Allie was having a great meet, and she was super confident, and I knew that if she put together her perfect race, there wasn't going to be anybody that could beat her.
Under American record pace, over Hallie Nelson. All three flip right there together. Who will be able to have enough to bring it home? What a finish here. Ali Howe of Stanford in lane 5. And it's Ali Howe, 49.7. 1/100th off her record from last year. What a night in Columbus, Ohio.
Everybody was crying, and it was a perfect senior moment for her.
She's just been a great teammate and great friend, and to see someone like that go out on such a special note, it gives me goosebumps.
What a performance by Ali Howe, the senior, and what a way to go out with the win. The quartet of Howe, Williams, Hu, and Manuel set the NCAA and American records in the 400 medley relay yesterday. Can they do it in the team?
Take your mark.
To see Simone run some people down on those relays just time after time, I think, I can't even remember exactly which relays it was, because it felt like every relay she was running someone down, but just the gap that she was able to overcome and touch out Cal for the win was remarkable.
Simone Manuel for Stanford. And Simone Manuel, there's Simone Manuel, the Olympic gold medalist, the world champion. Can she chase the freshman down? She goes by her. She goes by her. It's going to be Simone Manuel. Look at Simone Manuel go. 134.10 the NCAA. 133.11. An NCAA and American record for the Stanford Cardinal. Simone Manuel. Wow, 20.4. Good gravy.
Yeah, that's kind of been the motto of the meet, is start strong, finish strong. So besides just my leg, these three needed to put up good splits too, and they did, and just came together really well.
A record-winning time for Stanford.
Ronnie, that is amazing. 133. 1:11. They took 99 100s off that record. And celebration for Greg Meehan and the Cardinals.
You know, not that historical things are why we do what we do, but it would be pretty interesting or pretty neat to sweep all 5 relays. I think the last time that happened was 2008. One more time. One more time together with this group. Strong and proud and kind of like, I need to edit this part here. We're going to finish today, and tonight we are going to finish, and we are going to do it together, and we're going to celebrate one last time the great season that has ever happened in the history of this program. We got it. Let's go.
It's been such a pleasure to become so close with Katie and watch her swim. She's such a calm and humble person. You never guess, kind of looking at her, that she might be probably the best female swimmer of all time.
Katie, one of the most laid back, chill, humble individuals you'll ever know. She always has a smile, and being around her, you just feel relaxed and you feel comfortable, and I think that's something really special.
You know, she trains on a different level than I've ever seen before, and she really continues to push people to be the best they can be.
And it is the 3rd fastest swim of all time. Katie Ledecky here on her 21st birthday.
Can you think of a better way to celebrate when an NCAA individual title, another one?
Yeah, I think this is the best birthday party I'll probably ever have. Again, I'm just so happy to be a part of this team, and this is the most fun I've ever had at meet.
What incredible perspective. Katie Ledecky, a champion in so many ways.
Just day in, day out, they inspire excellence, and they inspire each one of us to be the best that we can be.
Ella's a phenomenal swimmer and such a great friend and teammate, and she really knows how to step up and race when it matters, and she never ceases to amaze us. She always throws down something insanely fast, and she's just a great trainer. She's always hungry for more.
I mean, watching Ella swim is just amazing enough in itself. Like, she's such a hard worker and so determined and driven, and she knows how to race. Like, she loves to get her hand on the wall first, and she won those races and won them by margins. But overall, like, just her grit to win and her will to win is something that's very admirable.
I just remember the last relay, we knew all of us were so tired going into that last relay, but just walking out on deck, the energy you felt from the team on the stands, the parents and alumni in the stands as well, and knowing that it was my last race, and it was my last race for Stanford, and being a part of the Stanford legacy.
We put a ton of pride into relays because it's representative of your university. You're taking the name off of your cap and you're just swimming for the logo. You're swimming for Stanford. And swimming for Stanford means so much. You're not just swimming for the 18 other people on the side of the pool and your coaches and your parents and your fans, but your alums and your university. And that carries a lot of weight. It also carries a lot of pressure. And so in those moments of that kind of pressure-packed environment, to rise above and to win is really special. So I'm just so proud of the wins and the number of people that were involved in those wins.
Stanford! Stanford! 11 100s!
Simone, do you have anything left in the tank after that one?
I just wanted to give all I had. This team has given me so much, so I just wanted to give it right back in that swim. And finishing off with the first place, that's like the perfect senior moment.
back-to-back champions, the Stanford Cardinals. And they did it emphatically.
The moments of success are so rewarding because the hard work was put in beforehand. And so when I look at that moment this year, it was not just this year, it was the build to this that is most gratifying and most satisfying.
This is a very, very special team. It is the most incredible season, I think, in the history of our sport. When you really look at, what we've done from September, what you've done from September to March, and it doesn't happen without senior leadership. And if I could have all of our seniors stand up for a second. 'Juniors and sophomores and freshmen, there are great examples for you to follow. So I ask you, underclassmen, to be patient, but to pay attention, to learn. It's in your hands now. Okay, you have to take hold of the Stanford Swimming and Diving legacy and continue to keep moving it forward.
I definitely think the future looks extremely bright. I feel like for this team every year, Greg seems to find a way to bring in, the next best recruiting class, and it just gets better every year. So I'm really excited to be able to, watch them develop and kind of be in the stands and cheer for them as well.
I think the future is looking very bright for Stanford Swimming. I think these past 2 years will really carry a lot. It's going to be fun to see, fun to watch, and I think Stanford Swimming is going to be pretty dominant for a number of years to come, and that's going to be really exciting.
It's incredibly important that we continue to keep control over how we define success. Because the minute that we allow someone else to define our success for us is the minute we give up control. And we have to hold on to that.
That's the fun of a new season, is it's a new culture, it's a new vibe, it's a new feeling when you walk on deck. Moving into the future, it's the same. It's being the best version of this team that's coming together, not reflecting upon last year and saying we want to be better than last year, but how good can this team be? Because if we focus on that, I think that's where we'll truly see what we're made of.
But if we can continue to believe in our core values and our foundation that we built 6 years ago, then we're going to have sustainable success because we get to define what that success is.
We ain't done yet. Congratulations.